knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway. Knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. Hit so hard, remind you of 85.
Take a look, Chicago, you can smell it in the air. There's a hungry team called Soldier Field going nuts, jumping out their chair. Teams rather be anywhere but here. We don't care if it's below zero. Let it dump before the snow, we still gon' break roads. If we win the point flip, we choosing to kick. Cause we got a defense that love to hit. Polarize the link with our smash mouth D's. Slicing up teams like Mike Singletary. Forever repping the seat, making Papa Bear proud. Giving Chicago something to shout about.
We the Bears, monsters of the
What's up, everybody? Welcome to the Panda and Grizzly Show. I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Baron. Sorry, a little late because I was finishing on one stream, so I had to jump onto this one. Man, I have been waiting to talk about this Bears team. We did a fantasy draft last week. We didn't do the same thing as we were doing usually, but this Bears team needs to be talked about because we are about 2 weeks out before we start meeting up for camp and start, looking at the season for what it's going to be. And there's a lot of questions. We have a lot of questions going to camp. My question to you, Ben, I want to ask you first. Do you think this team could be a playoffs contender?
Okay, let's look at the NFC as a larger picture.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, potential playoff teams. We have the Vikings.
Vikings? You're gonna start the Vikings, really?
It's the Lions. The Vikings could be
Lions, Eagles, right?
Lions, Eagles,
and then you look at your Tampa Bay. Your divisions. You probably say Dallas, Washington, potentially there, and now you get into Chicago and Green Bay.
Yeah.
And then
Vikings.
You're not. I don't know why you keep on going to Vikings. I don't think the Vikings are in the conversation. Panthers aren't in there. The Saints aren't in there. Maybe the Falcons.
Yeah.
Falcons would be 8. San Francisco, Seattle.
Yeah.
Arizona. That's 11, right?
Arizona's the kind of
they had 8 wins last year. So I mean, you're saying that they didn't get better from free agency and stuff. I'm just saying you're talking about who's in the conversation for it. There's
it feels like everyone except like the Giants and like the Panthers and the Saints.
I don't think everyone's created equal. I think there's about 11 people that are there that can do it. If I was putting the Bears in that conversation, I'm around 6 or 7. Thinking that Minnesota's gonna take a step back, being with a rookie quarterback, which I don't.
I think they're going off. I think they're also going 9-8. I think they're going to go like 9-8.
9-8. I don't see that at all. I don't think a rookie quarterback's would come into the NFL and or a first year quarterback's coming in the NFL and doing anything like that. So I don't think they're 9-8. I think Detroit's going to come back. Instead of winning 14 games, they're probably going to win 12. I think Green Bay is pretty much where it's going to be. 8 to 10 wins. That's just who they are. I think the Bears right now are looking about 8 to 10 wins too. Dallas got better. No matter what anyone says, they got better. Eagles are still the Eagles.
Yeah.
Watch the Commanders. Got a great one, right?
Yeah.
Jay Daniels was like he might be great. So I mean, there's people when you're looking at teams, their teams are going to be really good next year. But I think the Bears could be one of them. But I think they have things that they have to work out. They have to figure out if they can, play with the big boys.
Could we see the games where it's a close game, but we take the game over and win it in the fourth quarter? Could we not fall apart when the pressure's on?
Those are good questions. I mean, that's the real question going forward. My question is, what are the things that we need to work on to make it happen? What up, Zion? I'm pretty sure Alec is in here. Appreciate you, Jamie. Well, what up, man? Appreciate you jumping in. Getting late. We didn't even get to the Rams. I'm gonna go for the divisions. Okay, I think the North. As much as I want to say, oh, the Bears are gonna win the North, I'm still gonna say Detroit, even though they lost their two offensive and defensive coordinators. They lost a lot of players. I'm still going to, they lost their center. Still gonna go with the Lions. Lions still are a class. Could everyone catch up to the Lions? 100%, yes, they can. But I think they still win the division. The East, I'm on Philly. As much as I think Washington's real close, I think Philly is still the one who wins that division. You go the West, I think the Rams got better. I think that young defensive line, being able to put pressure on the quarterback.
My question is, I don't question his talent. My question is, will he survive? Like we saw in 2023, near the end, he started to get banged up a lot.
That's why they invested in their offensive line. They did a good job. They got Kyron Williams that they could run the ball still with, and their defense is much improved. So I think that's a good one. But I think all yours are valid. Tampa Bay in the South, right?
Yeah.
So the number one wild card team will be.
They pretty much have it. The South is pretty much theirs. Because the only team that has any the teams that have a pulse is Falcons, and we know the order is Bucks, Falcons, Panthers, Saints.
But you don't know anything. But I know that's what we're kind of guessing. I'll say my first wild card team, I'm gonna guess probably the Washington Commanders.
Yeah.
My second one would probably be between Chicago and Green Bay, and the other one would be the other one. So I think that we get 3 teams out of the NFC North because of that. Some team you got to watch out for. You got to watch out for the 49ers. You got to watch out for the Falcons, which I still think one young quarterback is going to be a year away. But, these things you got to look at. All right. So most important things going to camp for the Bears. We got Jamie saying, let's talk some Roschon Johnson. It's interesting. We'll start there because Roschon was a top 10 in points per opportunity. Also faced the number 1 most stacked boxes because they knew they were going to run the ball when you see him in, even though he's a great pass a blocker. He probably the best all around running back. I think he's going to get a lot of opportunity this summer. But he's a person right there specifically that's going to be an opportunity, someone who's going to be an opportunity for us to see what they got. It's someone they have to figure out and work on in this summer in this new offense. So I mean, yes, Swift, and we got Roschon, and I know everyone's on guy, what everyone's saying. I'm not understanding it. I think he's too slow. I think that you're gonna find out in the NFL when you're a starter that he's too slow. So I'm one of the guys not the guy. I think Roschon is the guy that they're really leaning on, and he has to be good. Okay, so looking at the schedule, I see the floor as 4-13, the ceiling is 9-8. I see the floor being, if I'm gonna be honest, I'm gonna say 7-10, and the ceiling being 10-7. That's where I see the Bears right now, especially with the new coach. I think Ben Johnson, his offensive prowess. I think we could get. Well, I'm gonna say the floor is 6-11 because that's what the Lions did that first year when they really started to turn the ship. I think that's the floor is 6-11. I think the ceiling is still 10 wins. What do you think the floor is for the Chicago Bears, Baron?
I think the floor is 5-12. I think if everything goes wrong, we assume that Kelly Williams does not develop at all. He's still the same quarterback as last year. The running back room get exposed again, so everything will happen. We will not able to run the ball, and we can't really pass it over the middle. Our defensive scheme will work, but the secondary will have lapses. And the lapses will be during big time moments like last year. So, pretty the worst case scenario is last year happening again.
But you think that same thing that happened with is going to happen with Ben Johnson?
I don't think so, but that's the worst case scenario if everything goes wrong, pretty much. That's what I'm
So
thinking.
Ben Johnson does nothing to his team, and all of a sudden we just stay exactly where we were, even though the offensive line is 10 times better.
Yeah, that's in print.
That's in
Caleb Williams, like, hey, he can't see over the middle. He just can't.
So
No
why you
matter
say
how.
that? I disagree
No,
with that.
like, no, I can say like that's the worst case scenario if he can't do
Oh, if
that.
he can't see over and Ben Johnson can't get through to him, and all of a sudden he's not a good leader, and that's the problem. Yeah,
Yeah,
maybe.
yeah,
Okay.
that's the worst case scenario.
Okay. Real Bears fan says in the past 25 years there have been 530 QBs with 100 attempts in the season. Caleb is ranked 520th at completion percentage, throwing over 10 yards in airtime of what's it? He says 10 yards of airtime. Okay, 35.6% of throws over 10 yards. 5 to 12. Caleb has 27 sacks in the fourth quarter. The fourth quarter of the game within 7 points. Caleb has taken 13 sacks and has 1 touchdown pass. Yes, 1 generation sack taker, 5 to 12. Okay. All right. I was never a big Caleb Williams fan.
Yeah, that's
Everyone remembers me, right? I always said Justin Fields is the guy you should stay with, but you need to rebuild your offensive line. I do believe that his offensive line is better, and he's gonna be able to step up. And I think Ben Johnson's going to teach him how to get the ball out of his hands.
Mm-hmm.
With that being said, I'm still not sold on Caleb Williams. I'm not telling you that he's that guy, but I do believe
I am willing to give a chance. I'm only giving him a chance.
Mm-hmm. I think he has a chance, though. I agree. I think he does take a lot of sacks, but I think part of it is him holding the ball, and part of it is that the offensive line wasn't able to block right in front. So if we'll know that this season, if he gets a lot of sacks again, then we know more about him.
Yeah. So.
Yeah.
We did that last year. We did it last year. We brought a bunch of talent, but it didn't really.
No, but you always build for the inside out. You never build for the outside in, and that was a mistake. Ryan Poles made a huge mistake. You never build from the outside in, and that was when you kind of failed. Jamie says, "How can their Bears not be better? They asked for they added so much talent and brought Ben Johnson.
It's the Bears way. Well, the Bears way. It's the Bears way.
No, I mean I'm a Bears fan, and I'm going to tell you that I understand football, and I can tell you that should not be what happens. I think they will be better. I think they brought quality people. They brought quality people in. I think they brought a quality coach in. But I'm not going to fall into the trap of just saying that they're going to be great just because. Because you have to work on certain things.
Like we had these cases where we brought. Hey, we brought a new guy.
We've never had an offensive line that we bought this year.
It's not the offensive line, but we say, hey, we got a new coach. He looks like he knows what he's doing, but we see it just hit the wall too many times. So for me,
but you have to bring the offensive line, and you have to have skill guys. I think they actually have all three of those things this year. The Bears offensive line is ranked 8th best pass blocking in 2024, better than Cincy. Caleb has 27 more sacks than Burrow did. So
I don't believe, even though it says that, I don't believe it.
I mean, the eye test doesn't tell you that. The eye test tells you that they had a worse offensive line. They had a bad job at center, especially with their being able to reach block. I think that was the biggest thing. And then you have problems at guard. You have problems at staying healthy, but the stability up the middle did hurt a lot. And now having a little more stability at the middle will help. But you bring up a very good point. Drew Dalman is probably one of the most important things we need to go and figure out what the biggest concern about the Chicago Bears going to camp. Drew Dalman and Joe Thuney are going to be huge in stabilizing this offense and seeing if Ben Johnson can actually run the offense that he wants to run. Without having those guys in the middle, that's going to be a hard thing. I'm not saying I don't like the idea that the offensive line was ranked 8th. That's you don't know where the ball's going. So like when I played, you can say, oh, the offensive line wasn't the problem here. And I can tell you that the offensive line was the problem because of the way you should have reached or calling in protection or going which way. Those things matter. So I'm not saying I don't think the offensive line was good enough. I don't believe that. I don't believe that they matched what they wanted to do.
They were bad. They were bad. The stats make the ranking may say 8th, but when you watch the games, you know it's not. It's
but with that same thing being said, There are sacks that were held by because Caleb Williams holding on to the ball, not understanding where he was going to throw the ball, not releasing the ball, not having a good rapport with DJ Moore. You know, like he has issues. He has issues. So let's not go in thinking that he's good at everything.
Yeah.
Ken says they also have a tough schedule. They play in the NFC East and the NFC North, so I see them going 2-6 in those games. Also, the division is stacked. I don't think Minnesota's stacked. I think Minnesota's lost a lot. I think they're having a rookie quarterback's going or first year quarterback's going to hurt a lot. They have a lot of talent, but I don't think that's something that's true. I don't think the NFC East is good wise as you're labeling it. If I was a betting man, I would say between those games, I would put the Bears at 4.
I put them at
4-4, 5-3, 4-4, 5-3 because I think they're better. So who's in the NFC East? Who are you saying they go 3 and 5?
No, I think I saw him.
So you say you don't think that?
I think he said AFC North. AFC North.
Yeah, AFC North. Yeah. So you don't think that the Browns are that much better than the Bears?
No, they're going flat. They are.
So you said 3 and 5, right? I'm just saying. You said the Browns are that much better than the Bears. You think that all of a sudden you think that your JJ McCarthy is going to come in and be able to be amazing. You think the Bears are not going to be able to compete with Detroit, even though they competed with them last year. You think they're not going to be able to compete with the Green Bay Packers, even though they. I'm not even talking about the other 3 guys, the other 3 teams. Let's talk about those.
Actually, based off that,
And what about Aaron Rodgers coming back to Chicago?
I think thinking, okay, we beat the Vikings twice. We beat the Browns. Close by, probably best case scenario. I think 1-1 with the Lions. Best case scenario with
I think we go 1-1 with Green Bay too.
Yeah,
we go 1-1 Green Bay, 1-1.
I think we'll beat the Steelers, but we can't. I don't think we're going to beat.
I think we'll beat the Steelers. I think it'll be a close game. I think we beat the Steelers. We beat the Browns. We go 1-1 with Detroit, 1-1 with Green Bay. I don't think we beat Minnesota both times. I think we go 1-1 with Minnesota too. So that puts it as 5 wins. So I think it's possible you go 5-3. That's where you go into the 8 or 9 wins in the season.
Yeah, because don't we also face? Like we probably also have another.
We have some easier games, but they have a tough schedule. It's not going no ifs, ands, or buts about it. Fields sucks and had 3 road wins and 6 starts this year. Caleb had 1 road win last year with 17 starts. Shitty Fields made the playoffs and Caleb wins at 5 wins. I think you're saying that, but if you're looking at how the game works and how Justin Fields plays the game differently, it's easier to win in that way. When you're coming in trying to throw the ball, you need to really have structure. And I don't believe Caleb Williams has structure. You know, and that's
I don't think any of our quarterbacks ever truly has structure.
Well, I think that's something we have to work on, and that's why this new way of doing things has to work. But I'm not guaranteeing you that it will. Ben Johnson looks good on the outside, but I'm not sure that that's exactly what it is. So the Bears O-line was 19th last year in time to throw.
Yeah.
Once again, that's all things can be shaped. It's the way you want to do it. Because if you scramble, you increase the time that actually was out, even though you have unblocked people. They also, I can't look at exactly what it was, but as far as unblocked people, free runners, they're high as far as free runners coming through that line.
Yeah. Like watch the Texans game. How often do you have the free runner coming off the edge, screaming straight at him?
It's difficult. It took Caleb 13 games to break the Bears' 100-year-old sack record. 7th most pass attempts, 31st in offensive, dead last in completion percentage, and lost yards per pass. Said he said 6'2". He's a liar. No, he's not 6'2". He's closer to 6 feet tall. He's closer to Drew Brees' height type of thing. So, yeah, I'm not gonna lie about that. So Hall, we should have taken New England trade and then take Alton at 3, Odunze at 9, JPJ with the New England second rounder, and also had New England's 4th round pick in the 2025. That would have been a great old line, two top 10 picks this year. I would have preferred it. Yes, I would. That's something I would have preferred, and I would have preferred giving Justin Fields a cheaper deal. And then not even picking up his 5th year, but offering like a small $20 million. do exactly what they just did now and seen what we had. I would have rather did that. But now that they've done it, they changed it. Now they've gone the way of Caleb Williams. Kind of got to just change it. You got to go with it, right? You say, okay, so now what I want these Bears to do? What can we do? We have to optimize this thing we did. They went and got Joe Tooney. I think that's still really good. I know offensive linemen, and I know they usually go well until about 36. If you want to play, you're gonna be good. Drew Dalman, I've studied in Atlanta. Drew Dalman, this is his 5th year. Drew Dalman is a very good center. I'm not as far, I am a little concerned over there, and more right tackle. I mean, right guard. I think we have okay tackles. I think we're still pass rush. We're going to have issues coming off the edge. So I don't think this is
especially guys with strength. Strength.
Braxton Jones hasn't had a chance to even do anything else. He's been hurt this entire time, so he's not even going to be in practice until August. I don't want to make it pretend like everything is rainbows and stars and all this stuff, and it's not. It's not glitter, stars, and it's not what it is. There's problems, and there's things that they have to work on. They have to figure out a good offensive line during this camp. They have to decide if Braxton Jones is going to be a swing tackle or he's going to be their left tackle going forward. I would rather than have a backup plan. I think they got to figure out if Amagaji is actually a guard or tackle. I think they have to figure out if the running back room is strong enough. I think they need to know if Caleb Williams is good enough with his footwork to actually get the ball off on time. Is he going to be paying attention? Is he going to revert to his own ways because he's never been in a place where he had to prove himself? He was always the star guy, and he's never had to prove. That's why I always thought Jaden Daniels was better, because Jaden Daniels went to multiple places and had to prove himself. He was not given the starting start spot. So I always enjoyed that and seeing that. Jamie says they allow 66 sacks when they're 20th and run blocking. Their only room is to go up. Yeah, I agree. Yeah. So run blocking sucked last year. Good pass blocking. I don't think it was good pass blocking either. I think that you got ran over at center, and then you had a revolving door at right guard, and that was your A gap was your problem. Your A gap and your close B, so your 3 nose was a problem. So you can always be destroyed there, and when you get destroyed in the middle for a young quarterback, there's nowhere to step the ball up.
Actually, a young quarterback and one on the shorter side, that's pretty much a death sentence. Yep. If it's coming out right up the middle, he's even though he has a problem holding on the ball, coming through the middle is a guaranteed panic. He's panicking every time he sees it.
I mean, Tom Brady's the GOAT, right? He doesn't like pressure in his face. That's just what it is. 14.4% hurry rate, which was 14th, not horrible. Yeah, but once again, all these numbers are all skewed. And if you really break down the tape, you can see where the problems were. And actually, it was also a problem at center because they called protections incorrectly. So when you're counting for your middle linebacker, you decide on which side you're going on. They did it multiple times the wrong way. Even at the end of the Detroit game, that's what happened. They counted incorrectly. They added 3 good old linemen to keep the ball out of Caleb's hands. I think they hold 3 old linemen to start to get Caleb to understand he has to work under center, and then let him be a play action quarterback. Right? So can you run the ball? If you run the ball, if you run the ball multiple times, right?
Get him come down, and then you can actually
you throw over the top, right? You have 3 guys that can stretch the field if you get the ball to them. He has to be more accurate. He really does.
Yeah.
It says run the ball. They have to. They have to figure out a way to run the ball.
Not run the ball. Run the ball in the tackles, between the tackles.
In between the tackles. Stop trying to bounce it outside all the damn time.
Yeah.
What's up, Kadani? So what up, Chicago Tribune? Appreciate you, Kadani.
Yeah.
It's the 8th pass blocking only, not run blocking. But once again, that's skewed. It depends on how you're looking at it.
It's like, hey, I'm 8th best, but they don't. It's like teams like, hey, we're 8th best in defense, like the Nuggets. They're one of the best defensive teams. But when you watch them, you know that anytime they will get killed. They will get killed against a good team. So
8th best means that you have you have your issues, but you can skew it depending on the play caller. They did not have a good solid offensive mind or offensive identity, which hurt this team significantly. We have to remember we were 4-2 going to that game where the Hail Mary kind of stopped us. So this is not like a team with a coach who was not good. So this is not a team without talent. And you have the offensive line kind of restructured gives a lot to this team. So I disagree that it's going to be a bad team.
I think we'll probably be
level with the schedule. Not the word.
Okay,
He got off.
What is the schedule? What is the schedule specifically?
It says 2025 0-2 against versus Detroit, 0-2 versus Green Bay, and 1-1 against Minnesota.
No, I think we'll win against Green Bay. Even
I think I think we win against Detroit. You know, so yeah, I don't agree with that. I don't think that Minnesota. Yeah, I think we want to win. I just think that they play tough enough, and the way we're not going to run away from any team. I think we're going to have to learn how to win. Winning is a skill. You have to learn how to do this. You can't just be good to think that I'm going to win. You have to learn how to do it. I think Detroit. We are a bad matchup for Detroit.
Yeah, we always play them close.
Yeah, and it's just what it is. And usually that's why one win usually get a win out of Detroit. That's just what usually happens.
Yeah, based on the schedule, I think we could probably best case scenario by around the halfway point. Schedule is Vikings, Lions, Cowboys, Raiders. Then we have a tough
schedule.
Yeah, it is a tough schedule. Commanders, Saints, Ravens, Bengals, Giants, Vikings, Steelers, Eagles, Packers, Browns, Packers, and then the 49ers and Lions.
Ken says I wouldn't be surprised if they're 0-6 in division. I'll take that bet. I'll take that bet. I literally
they're not.
I'll tell you that if we didn't win two games, you come to me and we'll take a bet. We'll make a bet, and there's no way they're going 0-6. There's no way unless it's a catastrophic injury. I don't see any way, but I'll take that bet.
Even last year, we won against one team. Well, okay, yeah, we won against one team, and that was the Packers, which is amazing momentum coming into this year. But
I'm not always a big momentum guy because I believe that your team is what your team was. Your team is what it is. And it's a different team this year, no matter what.
Yeah. Yeah, I can see us max after seeing the schedule. I can see us being max 10. I can see 10 wins on the schedule.
I think that's the max you get, but I don't think that's what you get. I think we're a 9 win. I think it's a 9. It's gonna be a
9 win team.
I think, I think that they probably, if in my mind, this is just in my mind. Once again, I think we beat the Vikings. I think we beat the Lions. I think we beat the Vikings the first week. I think we beat the Lions. I think we that first week or the second week. I think we lose to the Cowboys. I think the Cowboys are actually going to be pretty decent. I think we beat the Raiders. I think one of the Washington game is in flux. I don't know where it is. So I'm at 3 wins. Saints, I think it's 4 wins we win. I'm going to go the Giants, definitely 5 wins.
Yeah, that's guaranteed.
Yeah, I'm going to go Steelers, 6 wins, definitely.
Browns.
I won't say Packers. This one 7, Browns 8. And that's what it's between 8 to 10. So can we beat the 49ers? Could we beat the Packers a second time? Yeah. Could we beat the Bengals? Possibly. Those things could happen. But I'm at 8 to 9 wins. That's where I'm at.
Could we beat the Vikings? Make it 2
Yeah, we could beat them twice. We could, especially with a first year quarterback that has no idea what the NFL is. Yes,
especially since we get him early.
The early one, that's why I think we win definitely. The late ones when the team starts to come into form, and I'm not sure about. Yeah. Jamie says the Bears are beating the Browns, the Cowboys, the Giants, the Steelers, the Raiders, the Saints, and maybe a couple more. So that's 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6.
I do actually think we can beat the Cowboys because the head coach is. I'm kind of banging on.
They have a lot of talent. I don't know if we're going to be. I don't think we're going to be the offense we're going to be going forward until about week 5, week 6. I think it's going to take some weeks for us to figure out ourselves. And I don't know. I'm going to pick us to beat a decent team until I know that Washington game will tell us a lot about the season. That Washington game will say a lot more about the season. We'll know a lot more then. So Packers could be a winnable game at home. Of course, Lions often have the best catch percentage versus their opponents for the rest of the time. The Lions always, but we always play them tough. We just always do. We always, one game is probably possible. If Caleb gets hurt in preseason, then we go 11-6.
Nah.
I hear you, real Bears fan. I hear you.
Yeah.
I don't think that's true.
I don't think that's true.
Look, but I like that.
I do not.
I think it's funny. That's funny.
That's funny.
But yeah, going into camp, I honestly believe that offensive line gelling together is going to be really important. I think we're figuring out the running backs going to be important. Even figuring out what's going on in our defense, how we're going to run our 3 technique and our defensive ends opposite of what we did last year. How are we going to make sure that we actually put pressure on the quarterback? Who's going to be the guys doing that? Because if Montez Sweat is getting double teamed, he's not great going against double teams, but he's great if you go in one-on-one coverage. You can't always push the line towards him. Then he can really ball out. That's what he is. He's a very solid player in those type of plays. So, but we need to on the other defensive end. As of right now, I don't see it. Even with Ogunle, whatever. At the other defensive end, I'm not a huge believer in it because he's not a pressure guy. He's not a sack guy. He's more of a contained guy.
He's more like I push the pocket, make the pocket very small. Which
agree.
was the style of
Dennis Allen.
Yeah.
Dennis Allen likes that too. So wheels up for Tyler Pagent. Hey, we won't be able to throw more than 15 yards down the field, but hey, we got some wide receivers that can do something with it.
Yeah.
But yeah, no, I think those things matter a lot. I wonder at cornerback how that works. How's the coaching staff would work with Tyreek Stevenson? Does he end up changing? Does Kyler Gordon end up being an outside cornerback? And you make Stevenson learn how to be the nickel. Does Smith sneak into that starting lineup? There's going to be competition at cornerback.
Yeah.
Do we get what happens at safety? Can Brisker stay healthy? Or is he one hit away from being out? And if he's out, that changes things.
Because we're going to have to rely on Jonathan Owens to constantly be Jonathan Owens and Jaden Hicks. No, not Jaden Hicks. Eli Hicks to be our safety two, and they're good, but they're not starting level good. They're just good backups.
I agree.
Backup special teamers.
So here's breaking news: a survey sent to select Chicago Bears fans revealed a proposed seating chart layout for the new stadium. Development for the new stadium may finally be underway in Chicago. Breaking news coming from the Super App. That's awesome. So we'll see what happens. The Bear fan says, I wanted Notre Dame safety in the draft. We wasted a few second rounds instead of getting him. Brisker is one hit away. He is one hit away. I really like.
The thing is, I probably wouldn't pick the Notre Dame guy.
I don't think he was a second round pick. I think he was a third round pick. I think we did a lot of bad things in the draft. I always say Ursi should have been one of our picks. We should have went running back. Even if you had to trade up to get the running back you want, go get the running back you want. You get Ursi in your second round pick. Right. Then you go ahead and worry about defensive tackle or whatever the hell you want to do. I think you have to get the guy that you want first.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't think they did that. It's Xavier Watts. Yeah.
I kind of see him as a third, fourth round dude.
He's I always thought Xavier Watts was an early third rounder. Yeah. Very talented though. I think he's starter level. He's starter level. So don't come in and think that we're talking about anything negative about him. He says Burden was fine. The other two picks should have been Watson on the running back. I think they should have went first running back. You should not. And if you're going to wait till the end, then Caleb Johnson you can't leave your second round without getting Caleb Johnson. You cannot leave the second round and not get Caleb Johnson. And I think Ursi would have been a better offensive tackle for this offense. A guy who's played offensive tackle all these years, has always been a solid left tackle that's played that position. You're not trying to teach him the position. He's a bigger dude. We have a problem with Baxter Jones. He's very athletic. He has good feet and all that stuff. But no, we need someone who knows how to play left tackle and a big body with long arms. That's what Ursi was, from out of Minnesota. We should have went there. Then you don't go out without the running back, and then you decide what you're going to do with the other pick. If Burden was there at 39 and you got Caleb Johnson at the end of the second round, then cool. And then you did exactly what you need to do. But they just did not keep get the guys that they really need to really change the tide in this team. I don't like their drafting. I think they did a bad job. So, yep, then we would have had one cookie for that team.
Okay.
Oh, that's funny. That is funny. But going to camp when no one knows this offense, Ben Johnson's going to have to be really, really detail oriented. He's going to have to make sure that everyone understands the which way you're calling the line, the protections. That's why it's important to have a solid middle of the line. Those protections, calling the wrong ones, you're going to have free runners. And the quarterback needs to know where they're coming from. The running back needs to be able to know where I'm saving it, where I'm filling in. If you don't know that, you're setting up for failure. And that's why I thought that was really important to grab Drew Dalman. I thought that we've been talking about that for months. Yeah. I wanted Drew Dalman immediately. I think he was a great pickup. And that's the first building block. I look at Detroit. How did they get good? They built through the offensive line. They need to do the same thing in the defensive line. You have to be solid at those positions and then put talent around. We have the talent. We got to make sure we solid at those positions. We need to teach the offense, and we have to be very, very exact. Our receivers need to be blocking. DJ Moore cannot be, loafing. I love DJ Moore. I don't think he's a big loafer at all. I think he's disappointed with the way that the offense was being run, but that's diva stuff. And you really don't have time to be diva this year.
Yeah.
If you're going to be great, if you want to be with a good quarterback, you want to be with a good line, you want to be a winner, you better show it this year. Show that you could be a winner, that you could be the number one guy. That's why they wouldn't got to lose the burden, because they're not sure about DJ Moore in his heart. We know he can play with good or bad quarterbacks, but can he be a winning number one receiver? That's the big question. Says, I am the rare Caleb hater that also thought the field sucked and was not the answer. I think Justin Fields should have been there. It should have ran his course. I don't know if he is the answer, but I would have been going to the 2026 draft. If he wasn't the answer, the 2026 draft was going to be my quarterback answer. You know what I'm saying? Like, I would have waited to this next draft next year would have been my quarterback answer if he wasn't the guy. I do believe he's the guy, but if he wasn't, I would have been more okay with that and building everywhere else, building your tackles, building your guards, building your line, getting the pass rush, doing all the things you need to, and then saying 2026, if Arch Manning's there, go get Arch Manning. Ronald says Bears will step up big time this season. I hope, Ronald. I hope you were right. I'm at 8-9 wins. I'm gonna say 9 wins for me. That's where I am. But it's important that they run and learn the offense the right way. They do everything the right way. If they don't, they can fall apart. This camp means everything.
Yeah.
So Ronald says, y'all drafted Swift as a safe RB2?
No.
So I've been doing a lot of fantasy drafts. We were doing a draft. We've done a couple of ones recently. So Swift has been being drafted around RB 18 overall, RB 16 to RB 18 overall. Okay. With that being said, that means he is a steal. If you get him in your 7th round, he's a steal. And you really do well. Those are moves that you do when you win your league. So I think that's a big thing. So agreed. Got you. Swift is a good running back at running outside and third down receiving. He is not an inside runner that we are missing. The problem with Swift is that he has all the tools to be the inside runner. He just continues to go on the outside because he thinks he's going to break everything for a touchdown. But you have to get those 3, 4, 5, 6 hard running yard attempts. You have to wear down the defense. You have to be willing to do those things. If he is not willing to do that, he's never going to be that guy. He has one 1,000-yard rushing season, and that's with a team that end up benching him at the end of the season with the best offensive line in the Philadelphia Eagles. That's the only 1,000-yard rushing season he's ever had. So he's going to have to prove himself. If not, he will be replaced. This will be his last year.
Yeah.
Yo, what's up, Peanut Butter and Waivers? Appreciate you jumping in here, man, coming in and checking us out. Oh, man, nice seeing you. Nice seeing you. The season is right around the corner, guys. Do you know when the first preseason game is?
I think 4 weeks. 4 weeks.
It's my anniversary, so I know it's August 10th.
Yeah, 4 weeks. Around 4 weeks.
August 10th against the Dolphins. We're that close to football, guys. Camp is starting. We're going to have games coming up. We're talking about 4 weeks before we're having real football talk. And that's why it's so important that Ben Johnson get his offense told to these guys, getting ready, understanding how the nuances of the offense, the offensive line, understanding the changing and blocking scheme depending on what the defense is doing. Can Caleb stay under center and actually get the ball to the running back? It's better for a young quarterback to be under center and then be able to use play action to give him more time to actually know what he's seeing. If he doesn't do it, we're going to be in trouble. If he does, this could be a really good time. Regardless of how the season goes, I know I'm going to at least 2 or 3 games this year. I can't wait for it. It's going to be such a good time. I believe we're going to... Is it the Saints game? I think I'm going to the Cowboys game and the Vikings game. So those are going to be fun times, man. I'm going to enjoy those games. Hope you guys enjoy it too. I hope the Bears do exactly what they need to be doing. But it's a lot. And that's why you have all these. Another problem before we get out of here, all these coaches, you have a lot of different personalities of this coaching staff. This could be a problem.
This either could work out. Amazingly, it's pretty much a boom or bust. If it works well, it'll be like if everything works, we'll probably be like close to like Philly. Like we know Philly's all like everybody's art. It's very like everybody's on each other, but Philly's like this. If everything goes well, it could be that, or it could be so bad that we hear about it for the whole season and then we're broken up by the end of the year.
We're not getting Ben Johnson's making too much money to not. He's going to be.
It's not him, but I think everybody.
Dennis Allen is making a lot of money too. So Dennis Allen being your defensive coordinator, Declan Doyle, he could be replaced offensive coordinator. He's only 28 years old, I believe. Coming out of Denver, he has not been an offensive coordinator for a long time. Richard Hightower is going to be a special teams coordinator. He's the same type of guy. He's consistency with him, so that makes sense. Now we got Antoine Randall. Now, if you're from where I'm from, we know Antoine Randall. Playing at Thornton, playing against. I played at Thornwood. So I've seen greatness come from Antoine Randall, including his brother was really, really good too. But like literally, I've seen him run circles around people. JT Baird, the quarterback's coach. That's interesting. Yeah, offensive quarter controls, map a point. I don't really know. Running back, Eric Bieniemy, another NFL player, NFL type running back. He's a hard-nosed guy. Does that work with Ben Johnson? Does it work with Declan Doyle? I don't know. Big names again. We have our offensive line coach. We have our tight ends coach, Jim Dre. Defensive line, Jeremy Garrett. We have a defensive back passing game coordinator, Al Harris. We have a lot of different personalities with all these guys. Kidor the third, our quality control. You have
lots of
big names behind these guys.
Like big names in their positions, like
exactly.
guys who are known for some of the stuff they do with that position.
Exactly. And does it work? Does this coaching staff work? Does Ben Johnson have big enough personality to be able to carry these guys and keep them all together? We'll know. We'll know very soon. All right, guys. Thank you for watching us. We're gonna get out of here tonight. Appreciate it. It's 10:50, so hope you guys enjoy your night. I can't wait to talk about the Bears next week. Join me on Dynasty Pylon tomorrow. Me, Martin, Mark Shaw will be there. Alec, we all should be there talking about all the NFL as a whole, what you should be doing in your fantasy football trades. I just traded and got a couple of guys that I'll tell you about next week. I'll tell you about it tomorrow, and then we'll be here on Sunday on the Morning Spike trying to get you guys ready for the season. Till then, I'm Brian the Grizzly here with Baron. Appreciate you being here, B, as always. And we'll see you guys again next week. Thanks, guys.
We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. It's so hard, remind you of 85. We the Bears, monsters of the Midway, knocking teams out every Sunday. Fire in our eyes, can't stop our drive. It's so